Can you tell me a little about your role at LogicBlocks?
So I'm a chief application architect, and what this means is that I oversee all of our app development and am pretty central in designing, coming up with the initial design for any kind of new products that we develop. I often do a fair amount of prototyping, data modeling early in a new product that we're developing for a new client. Sometimes, often actually interact with customers to make sure we're clear on requirements when we start. And I'll often make a lot of the initial programming decisions and then start to farm it out to a group of developers.
And I'm guessing you also have a strategic role as far as how the company is going to be developing applications on in the future.
That's right. So in addition to the chief application architect, I'm also an executive vice president.
So as an architect, what kinds of decisions do you have to deal with in terms of structuring this code base?
So typically, there are kind of two scenarios where I get involved. So there are new configurations of existing services that we've implemented before. And there, most of my work is just in requirements analysis to understand differences between clients and helping to put together an application development team to go extend that configuration to the new client. That's kind of the normal development role. And I do that for several products in our family that we've done many times before. We've deployed these services many times before for previous clients, and it's really just a matter of kind of bringing up a team of developers and just showing them what the architecture is and telling them how to flesh it out. For new products, and as of not too long ago, the Forecast Manager that we're going to talk about later was a new product. For that, I actually had to do a lot of the initial development of it. And we did things like initial scalability analysis. There's often some pretty complex calculations that need to be performed under, not real time, but under time constraints that a user would need to deem acceptable. So I do a lot of initial scalability analysis, which involves doing some coding up some solution approaches, making sure that we understand how to do the integration with all the various data that come from the customer, and also just doing data modeling, because a lot of times we find when we do a new application, there's a significant data modeling exercise that needs to get done before we can really start making progress.
And how about the software process itself, the development activities, and particularly strategically as far as improving productivity in the long range?
Yeah, I also play a role in that, as you might imagine. We're an agile shop, and so we tend to like really short iterations where we have demos at the end of those iterations. We use traditional Jira and other kinds of technologies for issue tracking. But yeah, our process mainly is one of, when we have a new project, do an initial architectural assessment, which may take a month or two to do the kind of prototyping and scalability analysis that we need. And then we proceed when we start bringing developers on, usually with a small number of developers that scales up over time, rather than with a big group that starts at the beginning. And we use a very iterative, usually 1 to 2 week cycle iterations. So the Scrum process.